We're here. How are you? It's Jer Stays.
It's Norris Howard, too.
It's good to see you. Prince of Brightmore, you don't even let me get to use your honorific.
Hey, listen, man. I can't use my honorific myself. Only other people can use it for me. I can't walk around calling myself that. That's arrogant. That would be the height of self-indulgence. And
Norris
that's just,
Howard would become Bob Dole in that moment.
yeah, I
and
can't,
nobody
wants that.
wants that.
Nobody
Also, I
wants
wonder
that.
how few people actually even know what I'm talking about. Being that it's 2026.
All the
and
I
Bob Dole
was
is
about to
dead.
say all the listeners who are over the 40, all
Yeah.
two of them.
Hey, listen, we have listeners over the 40. I'm over the 40.
You're over the 40, not me.
That's true.
I got time left.
I hope you have a lot more than just that time left.
Yeah, me too. But you know, the way it's looking in the world, it's kind of hard to feel that way. Good Lord.
It's good to have everybody out and here with us with the live stream. We're going to wait a few minutes before we get started to kind of let people join up. We had a little bit of a break here and there, but we're trying to do our best to hit that 4 o'clock hour, 4:30, something like that. People seem to like it later, so we're here.
Yeah, because y'all just be in the car and stuff.
Yep.
Picking up your kids. And if you're in the car with your kids, what's up, kids?
Hello, children.
Hello, children.
Hello. What does that mean with...
Hello, fellow children.
Hello, fellow children.
No. Listen, kids, if you're listening to this show will make you the smartest kid in class by far. So keep listening to it, and you'll be able to go back to class and show off all your smarticles.
Producer Cheyenne's kid now listens to the show.
Smart kid.
Very smart kid.
There you go.
He also likes dinosaurs.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't like
Who
dinosaurs?
doesn't? We love dinosaurs here.
Who
at Daily
does not
Detroit.
like dinosaurs? If I encounter a human being, I don't care what age they are. They tell me dinosaurs kind of lame. I'm gonna be like, you're a weirdo, bro. You're a weirdo.
If people ever question me about bird watching, I just tell people I'm going to look for dinosaurs. Because that's really what I'm doing.
Same difference, yeah. Same difference. Yeah, listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very frank with you, okay? A part of me wishes that we at least had, like, large herbivores on the planet still. Like, large herbivores.
Like the Stegosaurus or whatever?
Yeah, or like a Brachiosaurus.
That's a good name, a Brachiosaurus.
Or a Triceratops.
You know what I saw last night? A black-crowned night heron.
What is that?
It is a bird that's very good at hunting, and it kind of stoops over, and it's got a long beak, and it spears its prey.
Dang, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I saw a blue jay.
Oh.
I like blue jays. It's one of my favorite birds.
Unless they're playing the Tigers.
Unless they're playing the Tigers.
What's wrong with your Pistons?
Then it's F the Blue Jays. What's wrong with my Pistons?
What's wrong with your Pistons?
I can tell
Our
you right now.
Pistons.
No. They my Pistons, and I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with the Pistons. All right, here's what happens when you end up getting an 8 seed that can match with you physically. Now, almost no team in the East can match with the Pistons physically but Orlando. Maybe Boston, now that Tatum's back, right? But you get a big team that's just as strong, tall, got height and size in almost all positions of the floor. And somehow, some way, they figured out how to shoot the ball.
It still feels like a choke.
No, it is. It's a choke, and I got to put it out there. If they don't come back and win this, it's a choke of epic proportions. And you want to know why it's a choke of epic proportions? Because you got somebody like Cade Cunningham setting records for how many turnovers he's given. Terrible. Then you got the bench and the role players not stepping up. You got Duncan Robinson, who was brought in specifically to be able to shoot the 3 ball, who has been literally Basura all series, and that's Spanish for garbage. And, you got a lot of people. You got, Duran getting dunked on by, people left and right. It's terrible, man. And so here's what I can only hope. Y'all got to come back home, and you got to get the battery pack put in your back from the home crowd, and you're going to have to go win 3 straight. Now, it's not impossible for this Pistons team to win 3 straight, but you got to play like the team we saw all year, a team that takes care of the basketball, a team that forces turnovers. Because to be honest with you, it ain't like Orlando has been great. They've also been kind of trash. It's just that you've been more trash.
It's dispiriting for me. Do you have any money on it?
Hell no. Like, no. Remember how many times I told you that I don't bet on sports?
Right.
It's moments like this that I don't bet on sports. This is exactly why. Because I'm already emotionally invested. I don't need to be financially invested. That's double dumb. You know, it's stupid. You know, and listen, I already know. It's people out there right now. I'm telling y'all this. Listen to me. It's somebody out there right now thinking about betting on this. Save your money. Keep your money. Okay? Do not have your kids crying, looking at you, not wanting to talk to you because you done blew a few thousand on the game, betting on it. Don't get FanDuel none of your money on this one, y'all. Period. All right? I don't care what Valeni and them talking about. Don't listen. Save your money.
I don't think Mike, I'm assuming Mike is, I haven't heard him talk about this one in the last couple days.
97.1 has like whole shows dedicated to odds.
No, I know, but I personally haven't listened to his take.
Oh, no. His take.
Right.
Yeah.
I personally have not. I just haven't had a chance
No,
to.
I'm too.
But I assume that he is, my assumption would be, is that he's not positive on it. My
He
assumption
shouldn't
would
be.
be.
Nobody should be positive on this. It's terrible. It's absolute foolishness.
If I were to forecast a 3 straight win, it seems out of character for Mike to be pushing.
No, you don't push a 3 straight win. You hope for a 3 straight win, but it's the hope that kills you.
He doesn't hope for anything.
No, he doesn't. I'm just saying I hope. You hope. Most of us hope.
True.
You know? But that's what it is, man. But this is also the nature of sports, man. It's the nature of sports. This is what we do. And this is why I say if you live in Detroit, okay, championships are a privilege, and they're something to be excited about, and they're something never to ever expect.
I still remember the Red Wings victory parade with the Stanley Cup.
So do I. I remember many of them.
The problem is that most of our listeners, many of our listeners, I won't say most, many were not alive.
Many were not alive, and the other 60% don't watch hockey. So
That's true. Man, I remember when hockey was all the thing here.
So do I. I grew up loving hockey. Most of us did. You know, it was that kind of time. The Red Wings had that much of a hold on the public consciousness because for a period of time, they were the only team that still played in the city.
That's right.
So that's why
No, the Tigers too. But
and
during
the Tigers.
season,
It
was very,
but it was
very separated. You go Wings to
yeah.
Tigers, Tigers to Wings.
It was flipped seasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Because ended up going to almost no games. I think I went to one game at the Palace.
For the Pistons?
Yeah.
Man, we would take our little butts down there. Stupid. I don't know why we was doing that. You know? But I'm happy that they're back in the city, and I'm happy to see us back consistently in the playoffs. I just think that the occasion has gotten really big for them, and they need to just buckle down and stop trying to rush and force the offense and all that other stuff. Because to be honest with you, this Orlando Magic team is really not all that great, and the Pistons just so happen to be playing to their level, and that's what they want them to do.
Well, I'll tell people what we're doing today. So we've got a little bit of a compressed schedule. Our one of our other co-hosts, Mr. Devin O'Reilly, is out of town this week.
Yeah.
So we're going to actually record a couple of episodes. I think actually maybe even 3.
If you're lucky.
If we're lucky, we're going to get through 3 today on the live stream. We don't normally get to batch content like this, and all great plans may be completely destroyed, depending on how the news breaks.
Yep. Or if I pass out.
That's true. There is that. But we got to kind of double dip because we got to make up a little bit since we're running shorthanded.
That's right.
Also, thank you everybody who's been signing up for our newsletter on Daily Detroit. That's been pretty great. Took people through a few different places. We unveiled the official Fezzy mascot.
And you know what? Thank y'all for the feedback on this one because Jared agonized over this decision. And I don't know why, but he did. Well, and, you know, people liked it.
Change is hard, especially when you've been doing it a long time. And there's a lot of people who I know like the traditionalism of our, now all of a sudden, all I can think of is tenderism.
Tenderism. Yeah, the tenderism.
The tenderism of, but I believe that the new Shield for spring has tenderism of its own. In fact, if you cooked it, it would have a lot of tenderism because it's
absolutely because it's a pheasant. But we would never do that to you.
You would never do that to Fezzy, no. But it looks really good. I don't know if producer Adam has it anywhere, but it would be something that I'm really excited about. We had our own reasons that we wanted to do this
because it's fly.
Well, even though he doesn't fly super well.
No, but listen to me. You all right? Have you ever heard of the term the rule of cool?
No.
right.
Illuminate and elucidate.
Yeah, elucidate.
Elucidate.
Yeah, but let me tell you.
Matriculate some
Yeah.
information.
Let me explain something to you. All right, let me wax poetically. So the rule of cool is a old thing in nerddom. So it's used often, very much so in film and in comic books, mostly in comic books and games and film nerd stuff. Which, by the way, word to Motor City Comic Con. If you go in, I hope you all enjoy yourself in May. Rule of cool is a concept where sure you can make a thing make sense, but sometimes the better decision is to just make it cool, right? So, for instance, if you all watch like X-Men 97, right? In that show, the Blackbird, the X-Men's plane, is blown up and everybody's falling out of the sky. Now, Storm saves most of everybody, but they're just like, oh no, what about Cyclops? Now, Cyclops can't fly. Cyclops can't teleport. He can't do nothing that would help him in this situation, right? So you thinking somebody gonna have to grab him and put a parachute on him or something. That would make sense. It's not cool. So what he did was, he took his optic blast and made a giant optic blast that slowed down his momentum and allowed him to essentially float softly down to the surface. To do so with such force should rip his head from his shoulders. But it doesn't matter because it's cool. We can defy logic. We can defy reality. We can defy physics. We can defy all of it. If it's cool, you should do it.
And I think he's cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the whole John Wick concept.
And to be clear, he is not AI. He is a creation of producer Adam.
Yes. So Fezzy is a rule of cool. We saw Fezzy and we said Fezzy's cool. So Fezzy's the logo, period. That's the only explanation you ever need to give.
Do you know his full name?
Tell the people.
Vernon Lucius Fitzgerald III.
So sometimes we call him Fezzy, sometimes we call him Burn.
Depending on who's asking.
Yeah.
Because we all know that guy down at the store, right?
Oh, Vern?
Right.
Yeah.
But also has another name.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's from this Fezzy's from the city.
I had a friend from high school. His name was Armin. Mm-hmm. Do you know what his nickname was? Mondo.
There was a guy I knew at the liquor store that hung out at the liquor store down the street from me, and I think I've told this story on the air before. Apologies if I am again, but I never knew his real name, but I always knew him as Cadillac Man.
There you go. Yeah, that's the east side. That sounded like the east side.
Because he had a bike, but he did it all in Cadillac stuff. Cadillac bike.
He did not have a real Cadillac.
No, well, in his mind, it was a real Cadillac.
The bike was the Cadillac.
Yes, exactly. So he just
Cadillac Man.
He just became Cadillac Man.
To everyone.
And himself.
That's the point.
He'll literally be like, hey, it's Cadillac Man.
Hey, what's up, man? Who's that down there? Ain't nobody but Cadillac Man.
That's right.
See, and that's why I love the city. That's why I love neighborhoods. Because that don't happen just everywhere.
Well, one of the things about Fezzy, too, is that you can find pheasants in many places in Metro Detroit.
But Vern is only here, though.
Only here, absolutely.
Yeah, but you can find his cousins be around all the time.
And the other reason why he's good for something like what we do is that oftentimes we pop up anywhere all over town.
Just like Fezzy.
Exactly. You don't even know when a pheasant's going to appear.
And you know what? It truly is like one of Detroit's native Pokemon. Because that video you put out of the pheasants fighting was hilarious.
Man, that did numbers.
Because it was a good fight. And it's very often you see a pheasant try to deliver 2 low kicks. You said try to do 2 sweeps. He tried to do the Mortal Kombat sweep, the Sub-Zero sweep.
I had to do the slow-mo, too.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Because with the wings coming out, it just looks so cool.
And then, by the way, also, thank you for picking one of my favorite RZA beats ever.
That's such a good one, isn't it?
Shadow boxing? Yeah, man.
I think it fit perfectly with it.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. There was a girl.
Wu-Tang forever.
There was a girl pheasant around, wasn't it?
Okay, so
it was a battle over resources.
Let me tell you how this happened. So I was rolling down one of the side streets. I will be nondescript because I don't want people to know exactly where I live. But in the neighborhood of my house.
You was in the hood.
And, most of the blocks where I live have no more than a quarter of the houses.
Yeah, there's some feral land in between.
And this is a corner that's actually kind of busy where there's 3 houses and there's even like dogs in the yard.
Right.
But in the middle of the street, I roll up and there is a lady pheasant and then these 2 pheasants squawking at each other. Uh-oh. The lady pheasant decides, and I've seen this like from a block away. I'm like, I'm going to go real slow. I cut the engine. I dropped it in the neutral. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be close, but I didn't want to mess this up. So I cut the engine. I just let it coast. Back like I was a kid sneaking back home from a date too late. Mm. And so they're getting into it. And the lady pheasant's just like, I'm out. Peace. Just runs the other direction.
As the ladies at the club also do.
This is true. Like, you're not winning anybody by doing a fight at the club.
This is part of the reason why really the animal kingdom and humanity ain't that different. So look, they was at the spot. This is how you could describe it exactly like you would if you went out on Friday. So it was like we was at the spot, all right, and I was chilling and I was just cruising by, keeping it chill. I wasn't trying to bother nobody. I looked over, I saw Vern, little cousin, she was over there. And it was 2 guys trying to holler at her. And then what happened? They got to fighting. And then, of course, she get out of there because ain't nobody trying to be around that. Everybody puffing their chest out and trying to scrap and all this. So she got out of there. But the 2 dudes still went at it.
They lined up.
And
they chased. They were right across from each other, running in parallel. One had the high ground, one had the low ground for quite a while. And that gave me enough time to get out the phone. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I got to get this. Mm-hmm. And so they go, and then eventually the one comes down the hill and squares up.
Yep.
And he was aggressive. He was ready to go. He used his advantage.
He was aggressive. And he came in and he tried to sweep the leg, and my man jumped back.
And what was great about this is that it's clear that like nobody brought any guns to this fight.
Nobody brought the guns.
Nobody even hit each other. They didn't even. No one made contact.
No, but you're right. What I like about that is they kept it as a friend. They kept it as a scrap, and nobody got seriously hurt.
And at the end, you can tell they're like talking it out.
Yeah, they was just like, bruh. He was like, I was talking to her first, man. And he was just like, yeah, but you ain't have to say that to me, man. You ain't have to be disrespectful. And he was like, you right, I ain't had to be disrespectful. And they went on with the rest of their day.
Yeah, they just kind of slowly like kept an eye on each other.
Yeah.
Just make sure nobody was going to pull something, because that would not be honorable.
No. And that happens sometimes. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, especially them east side pheasants, they quick to go to the trunk.
You have to throw shade even at the east side pheasants.
Yeah, the east side pheasants is a little bit quick to go to the pistol play.
So what about your west side pheasants?
They all about stunting. We all about stunting on the west side, and so the pheasants and over there is all about stunting. So the feathers is a little bit brighter. They're a little bit more about spreading the wings out, being louder. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more about that.
I just have this image of a pheasant with Cartiers on.
We do have pheasants with buffs on over there. They do. That
would be a
buffs.
buffed pheasant.
Yeah, the buff pheasants. We do have those on the west side.
Detroit's own species. We should call it the buffed pheasant.
Yes. On the west side, we have a special species, a subgenus of pheasant, the buff pheasant. That is born and at maturity obtains a pair of Cartier glasses.
That is amazing.
You know how hard it was to keep a straight face that whole time. That might have been the dumbest thing we've ever done on this show. And we've done a lot of stupid stuff. Hey, whatever.
I'm glad people are here with us.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to record 3 things kind of as shows, but you can follow along all you want with it. And what we can do is we'll take a little break between each thing in case people have comments.
Yeah.
And then we'll circle back to it. And, of course, you've got stuff popping in there. But when we're in the live thing, we very well may be focused because we're recording things for the ear for drive time.
We're so focused.
But this time around, after each main segment, we'll take a beat if there are comments from people, and answer them.
That's right. If not, then it's going to be all full steam ahead.
This is behind the scenes. We're doing batch production, something we almost never do here.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to.
Yeah, it's fun to do.
It is.
It means I can have some time to do some things.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Making sure everything's cool. Dun, 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 dun. All right. I'm not going to, just so you know, Norris, I'm not going to drop dates on these. I'm just going to do them as intros. Episode 1. And in 3, 2, 1. Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go in the day. We're talking about where people are moving. I am J.R. Stays, coming to you from our studio at Techtown, and across the table from me, as he is for a lot of this week, is none other than Mr. Norris Howard, the Prince of Brightmoor. How are you, man?
Brightmoor to the world blow. The West Side is back once again, and excited to talk about our fair city of Detroit.
Yes, the city of Detroit and the region. And, we're going to probably devote most of the episode to this conversation.
Okay.
Because nary on 10 of you listeners, I know when say 3 agree or whatever. What's the saying that they say in the church?
I
When
don't know.
3
I don't
agree,
go to church.
whatever.
I don't go to church.
When I get like 10 people sending me the same link and being like, you guys need to talk about it.
Oh, it's a big thing, yeah.
It's a thing to our audience. I don't know how big is it in scale to the rest of the world.
No, I mean, the only thing that matters is what we're talking about on Daily Detroit, and therefore, it's a big thing.
Exactly. So there is a Detroit Free Press article that ran on Tuesday.
Ran.
See, it ran. Why do we say ran for print? Oh, print presses.
Print presses.
Because you run the
paper. Get it together, Jerry.
I should know this. I'm the veteran young guy here, right? But it ran on the Detroit Free Press. It was really good work. And, I give praise where it is due. And this new report says something interesting about our inner ring suburbs, that most of them are actually losing people. But one city is bucking the trend in a major way. And that city is Ferndale.
Least shocking news all week to me.
Let's walk through some of the data and let's talk about it. They saw a 1.3% population increase between April 2020 and July of 2024, the strongest growth of any municipality touching Detroit. Only Hazel Park, up 0.5%, and Southfield, up 0.3%, saw any growth. Meanwhile, Oakland County grew 1.8%, Macomb County grew just 0.6%, and Wayne County actually shrank 1.3%. Communities like River Rouge fell nearly 5%. Dearborn dropped 3.3%, and I know they're going to contest some of that data. And even Warren and East Point lost more than 1% of their populations. So I think we should talk about what makes Ferndale different. I got some feedback from some of these listeners about what they think it makes it different. But in the story, the mayor, Raylon Leaks May, said that a lot of it came down to philosophy, the idea that you belong. And some would say that the city's progressive politics, bikeable streets, walkable downtown, and thriving local businesses are drawing people in. I know we have a ton of listeners in Ferndale. I know we have listeners who go to Ferndale. Let's open up the conversation. I think first off, this is a bit of a validation of something that we talk about a lot on Daily Detroit, is that people want to be in urban spaces that feel good.
Not just urban spaces that feel good, urban spaces that are planned for people to live in them, right? When you think about Ferndale, most of us in Metro Detroit think about that corridor, that Woodward corridor, Woodward and 9 Mile, which functions as the downtown area and where a lot of the activity for Ferndale happens. And I think what is beautiful about that area is, think about it, that is really the only part of Ferndale that is not walkable. And even that is walkable.
It's only less walkable because it's bisected by a very big road that they've taken intention to make smaller with bike lanes. I remember all the hell that I heard from people when those bike lanes came in.
Me too, yeah.
I think it's part of that mix. I think that's one thing. Not as big as some of the other things, though.
Well, I think that's a part of it. But I think what it does is it forces activity into a very personal level. And I think also it makes it so there's a place where the entire town can congregate and then disperse. And it just has this constant kind of, you go in, you come out, you go in, you come out. And it creates a close community feeling, because now I don't have to go to Royal Oak to have a beer with my friend. I don't have to, but I can. I don't have to go to downtown to do the thing or go to a good restaurant, but I can. I have everything I need on a weekly basis, at least, right here. And then you also got stuff like, you got the natural food patch down there. You have a lot of amenities right in walking distance if you live in that area of Ferndale. And then even if you don't, you're still pretty taken care of as far as stores and services.
There's stores scattered throughout. The other thing is that you can bike across Ferndale, and I know this because I've done it with friends. Mm-hmm. You can bike across Ferndale and have an excellent experience.
Yeah.
So the hard thing, I know a lot of people focus on Detroit, and we focus on the city of Detroit a lot because we live there and we love it. It's the heart of the region. But Ferndale has a lot more complete neighborhoods.
Yes.
As far as if you're actually living there. If you're the kind of person who really cares about what's around you, you can hop on the bike and go anywhere. There's a lot of places where you can walk and go there. There's all kinds of events that happen. Heck, we're at Ferndale Pride every year.
Well,
and that's a regional draw. People from around the region come down for, the bars down there. It's a haven for the LGBTQ community. Mm-hmm. When I was talking to listeners, what they told me over and over again is that in Ferndale, they feel safe. And it's not the police kind of safe that you normally hear about in the news. It's not the police kind of safe.
Not crime and punishment safe.
Yeah, not crime and punishment safe, but their community has their back. If a cat gets out the door, people will look for it. If somebody needs some help, they know that they can all lean on each other in a way that they felt like they couldn't in other communities.
And do you know part of why that is because I think how the city is really built and formed in and of itself, right? Ferndale has very small lot sizes.
Very small.
Right? But you have dense neighborhoods, right? You do not have a lot of vacancy in Ferndale, right? And you don't have big, huge vacant lots, or you don't have neighborhoods that are split in half by light industrial or massive rail yards. You have one area.
You have one, but that area is over. A lot of that is also industrial in that pocket.
Exactly, right? But it is also right next to your commercial area, so you aren't necessarily, up or ripping up the continuousness of the neighborhoods to have that industrial area there.
And it grew up around that railroad.
Exactly. So my point is that you got people who are living around you, who probably have lived around you for years, and you get to know these folks, and you get to understand them, and you get to not fear them, as opposed to many of our other suburbs, even in some of our inner ring suburbs, where you have these massive lots. I think about stuff like Southfield, where you have these huge, ranch homes with, maybe a acre or two of land almost.
Well,
it's wild.
And to be fair, Southfield's seeing some growth, I think mostly on the heels of the continued flight of the black middle class out of the city into Southfield. That is continuing to be a thing. When I think about Ferndale, I think also about density. You were talking about lot sizes. One thing that I've been noticing, even in the coverage of stuff over the years of doing Ferndale Pride, even seeing construction cranes.
Yep.
There is a true push. Not everybody likes it, but it is happening, where you're seeing more multi-story things get developed. You're seeing stuff for, say, LGBTQ seniors. It was over on 9 Mile. Mm-hmm. You're seeing an investment in that. Their library. Let me tell you, my partner still goes to the Ferndale Library because there's programming there that you cannot get anywhere else in this region. It is unique. Mm-hmm. And so it is a draw, even though we live in the city. She still goes there. Mm-hmm. There are things that they are doing. You see, again, it's not of this the $1 billion tower in downtown Detroit, which I know a lot of people are very fixated on that urban streetscape. And I understand that. I love beautiful tall buildings. But when we're talking about a natural densification, one that follows the market, Ferndale is doing it where it's like, oh, there's really this need. Well, then we're going to build a taller house, or we're going to build this thing or that thing. And I'm not saying that everything's perfect. I'm not saying there aren't disagreements. I'm not saying there's some people who don't like the parking garages. There's some people who love them. But they're actually doing it, whereas a lot of cities, I think about Livonia, that recently canned their downtown program. You think about Warren, which was a huge population loser. Warren has been losing a lot of its benefits because it doesn't have as many unique things where it's like, oh, I'm going to Warren because it has
Well,
this.
I mean, also, like, let's just think about the inner ring suburbs for a second. So we're mostly talking about Dearborn, Ferndale, Southfield, Oak Park, East Point, Livonia/Redford, so on and so forth, right? How many of them actually have the type of quote unquote downtown that Ferndale has?
So Dearborn, which, as I said, because I saw it in the news story, Mayor Abdullah Hammoud is going to appeal it. And I went to Dearborn Development Day. I think one of the challenges Dearborn has is they need to build more so that more people can stay.
No,
and have more
I agree,
options,
but
right? They're doing that. But their east side downtown is not as built up as their west side downtown.
Right. But my point is, even then, that even that is too long, because you're talking about the west side downtown is 3 miles away from the east side downtown, right?
You're not wrong.
So I'm talking about when I'm thinking about a condensed area where you got a mile, maybe 2 square miles of walkability, of shops, restaurants, bars, attractions, so on and so forth. Royal Oak. I'll continue to count Royal Oak as an inner ring suburb, even though it doesn't touch Detroit.
I kind of think of everything kind of south of 696.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Royal Oak
touches 696.
Yeah, Royal Oak touches 696. But yeah, that's my thing. Is like that is the only other place I could think of that has like an actual densely populated with business or restaurants or whatever downtown, and the rest of it doesn't have that. So I can see why, if urban, you have an urbanist mindset, why Ferndale would continue to be very attractive to you.
Let's go around the horn and talk about the individual cities. One thing I will note is the Grosse Pointes definitely saw population loss. I think there what's happening is it's not totally the story, but at least according to the article, and then some of the experience that I have is that you have more people moving into the points. Like, people are just having less kids. It was very much like a bedroom community.
I mean, that's a big part of a lot of this population loss too.
Yeah, and even out in some outer suburbs, I have some listeners who tell me that they are in family-oriented neighborhoods where they're seeing more double income, no kids buying, even out in like Commerce Township.
Yes, that's interesting.
So let's go around the horn. We'll go from east to west. So Grosse Pointe Park lost nearly 500 people, 3.8%. Grosse Pointe City lost 2.6%. Grosse Pointe Farms lost 3.5%. Grosse Pointe Woods lost 3.6%. Harper Woods lost 3.6%. East Point lost 1.1%. Warren lost 1.2%. Now, in raw numbers, that's a lot. I mean, Warren's a much bigger place.
Warren's much larger, yeah.
Hazel Park gained 0.5%. Hazel Park's really interesting. We've covered a number of new developments in Hazel Park that are very human scale.
Yeah.
Restaurants, coffee shops.
This is not super massive, huge footprint buildings we're talking about, but we are talking about developments, particularly in Hazel Park, that meet a need. And when things meet a need, they get filled up.
Also, Hazel Park's real estate's still very affordable.
Still affordable, yep.
And they have the benefit of some additional investment abilities because there is such a concentration of cannabis there.
Yep.
Then Ferndale's 1.3% growth. Royal Oak Township, very tiny, but down 1.1%. Oak Park, down 0.6%. I thought maybe they would be flat, but, I know Oak Park's kind of... People forget how big Oak Park is. It's like more than 29,000 people.
No, Oak Park is huge. But again, I think it's that big thing of, when kids move away from home, they grew up in Oak Park, they don't move back to Oak Park.
Oh, and to be clear, the city of Detroit was up 1% in this.
Yeah.
Southfield, 0.3%. Now
they lost 0.3?
No, they added 0.3.
Oh, added
part
0.3.
of that, as part of that flight out.
Okay, yeah.
Redford Township lost 3.5%.
Oh, that's rough for Redford, man.
Well, another thing people forget, Redford Township is it's now 47,700 plus people.
Mm-hmm.
So we think about these like small suburbs, but they're actually kind of big.
Yeah.
Dearborn Heights lost 3.6%.
Huge.
Dearborn lost 3.3%. Melvindale lost 3.6%. Lincoln Park lost 3.7%. Ecorse lost 4%. And River Rouge lost 4.9%.
So my question is, do we have data on where those people went? Because
I don't think yet.
Because I think it's going to be really important to see kind of like where those people went. Because as you said, you see a growth. You're seeing a growth in Southfield, which, as we know, more than likely is a middle class African American flight, if you will. Right, so you got a growth. You got growth in Southfield. You got growth in Ferndale. You got growth in Hazel Park, and you got growth in Detroit. So, what this is telling me, based on the economics of those towns, is you're right. I think you're seeing a lot of dual income, no kid people living in some of these areas, but also I think this is a young people thing. I think we're seeing Gen Z wants to live in more densified areas. We're not seeing the same thing and by densified I mean, like I said, places with downtown style flavors, with attractions, with things to do. Redford doesn't have that. Dearborn Heights doesn't have that. River Rouge doesn't really have that. Lincoln Park doesn't really have that. The points do, but not in the same way that Ferndale does.
Well, and again, people are having less kids,
and people
so that's really changing things. Now, I will say, and this doesn't include the information about people who may have left the region, but we do, from the county numbers, we can tell some things. We know that Wayne County, is losing people. We know that Wayne County lost 1.3%. We know that Macomb County grew 0.6%, and we knew that Oakland County grew 1.8%. Mm-hmm. We're seeing the continued, and geez, remember the name Richard Florida?
Unfortunately.
Well, the thing is about this is he's kind of right. He's kind of right in that it's the growth is moving and centering towards that Woodward corridor and towards into Oakland County, and really that's where the focus of the region is centering now.
And that's why I think you see a growth in Detroit, but not necessarily in the surrounding cities, right? Because people are living within that Woodward corridor, whether it be downtown, midtown, New Center, so on and so forth. But they're not necessarily, and also I'll include, Corktown and a few other neighborhoods like that in there. But you're not seeing it in, Livonia. You're not seeing it necessarily in, like we said, Lincoln Park or Allen Park.
Well, I think it just comes down to what you want. If you're the kind of person who's like cool with your house and you don't really care about things being near you, and you just want the house you want, whatever you want in that house.
You want the house you want.
You want the house you want with the yard you want, the bedrooms you want, the whatever you want. That's all over Metro Detroit.
Yeah, you can find it.
So that doesn't moor you anywhere. And so when you find the next house you want, you'll just move to that city. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you want specific kinds of lifestyles, it's definitely focusing. And I want to say thank you to all the listeners in Ferndale who are so passionate about this show, even though it's called Daily Detroit, and sent me these and gave so much great feedback with so much love for your community. I know we're a little biased because, we're out at Ferndale Pride. We'll be back out at Ferndale Pride this year. But the passion, as somebody who loves cities, I don't care where it is, I'll tell you, even though my politics aren't the same, I love the energy of Zoran Mamdani. You know why? Because you can't deny
he loves the city.
He loves New York.
He loves the city.
And I love people who love their place and want to invest in it and do things. And I so much appreciate that so many people cared to send it to us.
Yeah, 1,000%. And listen, I spent a lot of time in Ferndale. It is probably the suburb I am in the most. I would say followed by then, Dearborn and then Southfield, only because I got family at Oak Park and Southfield. But by my lonely, I'm in Dearborn or I'm in Ferndale, and I have a deep love for both of those towns. I borderline almost don't even consider them not part of Detroit personally. I know they would feel some kind of way about that.
I've heard the joke that Ferndale and some of those other ones are kind of Detroit light.
Yeah, where I just kind of feel like Dearborn is just like, and kind of Detroit still.
I hear you, social media. I know it's not actually Detroit. Put your knives down.
Yeah, chill out. And y'all know where I'm from. Y'all know where I'm from. Chill out. But the point is that Ferndale is one of those towns where you can tell the citizens, the leadership, the business community all work in tandem, and they all have an understanding of what they want the town to be. and they are bringing it and they're making it a reality. And it's hard not to envy that.
You know, we should do a meetup up there. Maybe Ferndale
absolutely.
Project or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I'd love to hear if people want to do that. dailydetroit@gmail.com or feedback 313-789-3211. That's where we will wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much to our members on Patreon, patreon.com/dailydetroit. You truly are keeping things alive over here, keeping local media going. We are so passionate about our communities, and you allow us to do that with your support on Patreon. Get swag, get our undying support. And we're going to be doing more updates on the Patreon app because they're going to be, they've rolled out some things. So we're going to do some more stuff for you all that I think is going to be fun. Easier to give you exclusive stuff first before everybody else. So,
There it is.
all right. Well, with that, I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit and sometimes Ferndale.
All right.
All right, pause until we get the next one. I'm going to save that as a separate file. All right, let's hop in the chat really quick. David Porter's in the house.
Young David Porter has to say, Livonia's downtown is Plymouth, E-Courses is Lincoln Park's downtown is one. But that's my point.
That's true. Okay, first off,
Yeah, I
let's
agree.
validate.
He's right, though.
100% true. Facts.
It's 100% true, but that's my point. Is that like, okay, if you live in northern Livonia, that's a 25-minute drive to Plymouth.
I don't know if it's 25, depending on traffic. But here's the thing.
Sir.
Either way, you're getting in the car.
After 3 o'clock, it's 25 minutes.
I'm not West Side fluent like
I
you.
am.
I'll take
after,
your
after 25 minutes. After 3 o'clock, between 3 and 7 is 30 minutes.
I dated a girl in Livonia for half a second, and I was always lost.
It's a grid, Jer.
No, it's not in Livonia. You have in Livonia, you got all kinds of places that are cul-de-sacs. You got places where sidewalks just end in the middle of the neighborhood.
I mean, you're saying, you got
stuff where you got drainage ditches out front of houses.
The major streets are a grid, though.
The major streets are a grid. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right, David Porter. But I think the question is, in Ferndale, and I would argue in Grosse Pointe, too, strongly argue, you can just bike to where you need to go or walk.
For the most part,
if
yes.
you want to, as a leisurely activity, if you value that,
yeah,
you can do that. Whereas in Livonia, you cannot.
You cannot. It is literally made for you to not do that. It's Livonia's made for you to not do that. Listen, I know we probably got some listeners in Livonia.
We do.
We badmouth Livonia a lot. I don't know. Build your city differently because it's not built.
Well, they voted down a bunch of stuff recently.
I know. To not densify.
Well, I think at some point people have to vote with their feet. I hate to say it.
Well, we're seeing that.
Yeah.
We're seeing that. We're seeing that people don't want to live in these places that are not investing in human-based projects. I'm sorry. We got to get rid of car-based projects and car-based living.
By the way, David, thank you for shouting out Harper Woods. That's one of the reasons I went through and went around the horn when I saw the data, because I was like, oh yeah, we can do that. We need to make sure that we do that.
Oh yeah, man. But that's my thing. And this, I've spent a lot of time in Livonia, whatever. But hey.
Stina says emotional safety, and that's really a good point. That's the right word, and I didn't use it on the recording, but emotional safety.
Yeah, as far as what Ferndale provides, yeah for sure. I think that's a big thing as to why I moved back to Detroit.
I was on Washington Boulevard yesterday, and I feel emotional safety on Washington Boulevard.
Yeah, I have a lot of emotional safety in the city of Detroit. Like, if I'm especially like if I'm in my zones, like if I'm downtown, midtown, if I'm like Grand River and Greenfield, if I'm anywhere in my old neighborhood, like there's a lot of emotional safety for me in those places. Even though they don't on paper look like the safest places, I don't care. I'm safe there.
I'm so glad that I ran into you actually in Capitol Park. I had just grabbed a emergency chocolate almond croissant from Canal.
And I just got an emergency slice of cheesecake from Desert Oasis.
All right. What is your emergency food, chat? Let me know. Your cheesecake.
Like
I went for what was on sale because it was the end of the day. So you can get a really good deal at the end of the day.
Can.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it is like, dang, bro, like feels bad, I just want something that tastes good and I'm feeling down, yeah, cheesecake.
Any particular flavor? Or do you shake it up?
If I can't get a strawberry cheesecake, I'll get a baklava cheesecake.
You know what I can eat in one sitting?
Oh, actually,
okay.
Astoria's caramel apple cheesecake.
Oh, that's dope. That is good.
Because you can
I'm gonna
only
have to go there after
you can
this show.
only get it at Astoria. I've
Yeah.
never seen caramel apple cheesecake anywhere else in the world. Caramel apple cheesecake at Astoria, period.
I gotta, you know what? I gotta go do that. I might have to do that on the way home.
Do it.
That is very.
Nothing is stopping you.
Ryan South and hello, Ryan. Good to see you. +1 on the cheesecake.
Let's go, Ryan.
Stina Lee. Right now, ice cream, but cheesecake would work.
Ice cream is ice cream is also one of my substitutes. Like if it's just like I can't find any good cheesecake, yeah, I'll get it some ice cream.
Okay, mine. And I've found a substitute that works on the fly. Normally, it's the Samoan Girl Scout cookie. Now,
Is that the best Girl Scout cookie to you?
Yes. But I found an alternative when it's not that season. The dollar store. The Eats.
Yeah.
The Eats caramel chocolate for $2.65. Not that I haven't counted it exactly. Up on the top shelf at the Family Dollar. Oh, man. When I am feeling depressed, I can blow through that entire bag in one shot.
Because first of all, let me explain something to y'all right now. Every now and then, it'll come a time in life where you're just like, I just got to go to the dollar store. And whatever's here, I'm going to eat it.
But watch out for the chocolates because they have a lot of fake chocolate in there.
Don't do the chocolate.
You got to make sure it's like
Don't
somehow
do the
they
chocolate.
shipped in it's got to be a name brand. Don't touch the
No, don't do the generic chocolate.
No, don't do the generic because it'll be like filler.
Yeah, don't do the generic chocolate. But I'm more of a Thin Mint guy on the Girl Scout cookies personally, but Samoa's is a very close number.
So the hard thing for me with mints and sweets, like it's very rare that like I like mint ice cream, mint chocolate chip ice cream, because so often the mint tastes fake.
I don't care. It's Thin Mints, bro. It is Girl Scout It is Thin Mint. Okay? There's only 3, and I will accept any permutation of these 3 Girl Scout cookies.
Okay.
It's Thin Mint, Samoa, Tag Along. Period.
Really?
Everything else.
What about the tag along? I understand the Thin Mint. I understand the chocolate. What about the tag along?
It's delicious. It's chocolate and peanut butter and cookie. 3 things everybody likes.
I'll allow it. Good to see Hatsune Kuma. It's been Samoa Girl Scout cookie season for me.
Let's go.
Was typing that as Jer said it best
When you put them in the freezer.
I've never done that.
Yes.
Is that what I need to do?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Eat them cold. Almost all Girl Scout cookies are best when you eat them cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I would say the only ones, tag-alongs are neither here nor there, but definitely Thin Mints best after being in the freezer for sure. See, right there. Best when you eat them in the freezer. Thin Mints, 1,000%.
Shall we do episode 2? We've got 3 in our hopper.
Let's do it.
Okay. Everybody good there? All right, we're going to be doing a different...
chatting.
Keep chatting. This one's going to get hot.
Is it?
It might.
All right.
Because we're going to be doing our live poll reaction here.
Oh, that's fun.
So we're about to get a little political on you guys.
That's
political.
cool.
See what the people think.
Let's see what
with the survey.
Let's see how the people feel about the survey.
The surveys.
The surveys.
What a comic is that? Anyway. All right. Clear the decks. Change what we're doing. I wish I was a DJ in this stuff where I could just be like, it's a smooth transition. Like, dude, no.
No.
All right. Let's get recording here for episode 2. We'll wait till after this studio. I love Techtown, but I have to laugh because it's almost like there's a permanent Microsoft Teams sound in the background.
Microsoft Teams might be one of the worst inventions known to man. It might be one of the worst things. It's like up there with like Spike Strips, Zune. What else is another just terrible invention? Betamax.
Somebody smarter than me could probably draw a line between all of them somehow. Like it's the John Green has the book Everything is Tuberculosis.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just draw the line.
It's just like, yeah, man, let us pump millions of dollars into this entirely useless and absolutely inferior product.
I know somebody has got to love it. But does anybody use it willingly or is it just foisted?
No one loves it. No one loves Microsoft Teams. No one. Proceed, man. You just piss me off talking about Microsoft Teams.
All right. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan. I am Jer Stays. We are in our studio at Techtown, and joining me across the table is our intrepid Prince of Brightmoor, Norris Howard. How are you?
On behalf of the moon, I shall punish you.
Where is that from?
Sailor Moon.
Okay. That is quite the reference. You're sounding good today.
I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best. It's a lot of post-nasal drip going on, but we gonna push through.
You know, when you said you're going to have good drip this week, I didn't think you were meaning actual drip.
No.
I was thinking you're always. People remark to me on the street because I am not. I look like a PTA president.
That's funny.
You know,
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody who like worked in corporate sales.
Well,
and
when
has
I saw you,
Tommy Bahama. You know, a Tommy Bahama.
When I saw you the other day in Capitol Park, I did feel like I was unusually dripped. I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't go anywhere. I just put that on that day.
I highly appreciate that about
Yeah,
you.
it's all good, man.
So today's episode is going to be a little contentious, maybe.
Maybe.
There is new polling for the August primary, and I know from listeners, you guys love, guys, gals, theys, thems, love the polling episodes when we get into it and kind of go at each other a little bit and kind of do a little bit of an analysis. But we're going to do something different this year or this time.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think this is basically, I looked at it like the first page, but I have not gone through all the crosstabs. And what I want to do is take people with us when we analyze a poll. I figured we may as well talk about it in real time in front of the people.
Let's do it.
So what came out on Tuesday the 28th was this in advance of the 2026 Mackinac Policy Conference. The Detroit Regional Chamber did a poll of likely voters in key Democratic and Republican primaries for this August. The polls were conducted by the Glenn Gariff Group. And this really, I think the goal here is to figure out where we're at with these things. Both of these polls are 500 each. So it's 500 on the Dem side, 500 on the Republican side, with a margin of error of around 4.4%. Now, I want to tell people, I know already people are going to be like, there's only 500 respondents. I hear you, but also when you're doing polling, if you're sampling correctly, you don't necessarily need,
You don't need like
1,000.
30,000 people. No.
You don't. That isn't how that works. Statistically, the math starts to even out.
Yeah.
So I would say that this is going to be an interesting poll on a number of things. We'll talk about both the Democrats and the Republicans. I know our audience, just from talking to you all, you tend to lean a little bit more moderate to left, but I think we should start out on the Republican side and then get into what is frankly the more contentious Democratic side. We're going to spend a little bit of time on the Republican side, and it's going to be a little, because honestly, there isn't that much to talk about. There aren't many contentious races in really any way, shape, or form on this one. So if we open this up, all right, let me get that ready. We'll edit this together. I'm sorry, Cheyenne. Okay, so let's look on the Republican side. I think first off to know that Republicans are still highly motivated to vote. That's a big thing. Their number one issue is the economy and jobs. The number two issue is inflation, the cost of gas and goods. And number three, taxes and government spending. And then, underneath there, you have, Whitmer and the state government and roads and infrastructure. But the big three are economy, inflation, and taxes.
As it usually is.
That's kind of universal.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I want to walk away with. 85.9% of likely GOP primary voters view Donald Trump favorably. So what this shows to me is that despite Donald Trump losing popularity in Michigan overall, he is stronger here than in other states, number one. And number two, he's not losing Republicans.
Yeah, I will say though that as you get down a little bit deeper into the crosstabs, it is because there's kind of an overrepresentation of MAGA, what is considered MAGA Republicans, in Michigan. Because if you go down a little bit lower, they say but just 79% of what is determined as classic Republicans, which is the first time I've heard that
Is this
term.
like Coke Classic?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is this like class? Yeah, Coke Classic. But anyway,
Paul Ryan edition Republicans.
Yeah. The classic Republicans view him favorably, with 13.9 viewing unfavorably. So they are making in this Glenn Garrett poll, they are making the distinction between the MAGA wing and the sort of mainstream Republican wing, which is very interesting because I feel like for the past few years we've been seeing a lot of distinction between the progressive and the mainstream Democratic wings of these parties, and now we're starting to get really couple years worth of solid data with MAGA and classic Republicans being delineated, and it's turning out a lot of different results.
I'll also note that Donald Trump's favorability is far lower between those who are 39 and under.
Yeah, and to me that's a big problem, right? Because as we know, Michigan actually is one of the top states in the nation for youth voter turnout. That has been true in 2022, and that has been true in 2024. And so if we kind of keep on that trend, it stands to reason to say that the youth will have a big voice in this midterm election, and that does not bode well for the Republicans.
Let's get to because let's be honest, Mike Rogers, there's no real competition.
Nah, he's the candidate. He's the heir apparent
for as far as running for U.S. Senate, but for governor. They dive into that, and their poll shows that John James holds a 17-point lead against the rest of the field. John James has 37% of the vote, so he's starting to approach that magic 50%. Mm-hmm. Perry Johnson, who's been spending a lot of money, is getting closer to 20%. And then you've got close to 10% for Mike Cox, 7% for Eric Nesbitt, 2.6% for Ralph Leonard, and then everybody
Yeah,
else.
I think all this is showing is that, they may actually have to have a primary.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know what I mean? That's all it shows, is that they may actually have to have, like an actual vote for two people. Because around this time, maybe I want to say about 4 months ago, it was very clear that John James would be the guy. And I
feel like it's still leaning towards
it's still leaning that way. But, Perry has been surging over the past month or so, I'd say. And, it's going to be interesting to see if he could continue that momentum and make a race out of it. I don't think he will, but he is trying his best.
And the real wild card again is, does Donald Trump intervene? Because he's very important. In fact, 27.5% of voters are much more likely to support a candidate with Trump's endorsement. And basically 40, he's still the kingmaker.
Yep.
We can't deny that despite all the coverage. When it comes to the Republican world, he is very important. All right, let's switch over to the Democratic side.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more contention over
there.
Meat
and potatoes here.
Yeah, just because there's more races. There's more things that are happening. One thing that I think we should start with is that there is a lot of motivation to vote on the Democratic side, but that motivation definitely is lower among younger voters. Mm-hmm. It definitely dips off among younger voters. Now, for Democratic voters, okay, this is interesting. 20% of voters say inflation and cost of gas and goods is number one. Pausing here because of fire truck. For younger voters, 20% said inflation, cost of gas and goods so inflation was number one for Democrats. Number two is the economy and jobs.
Fair.
And number three, availability and cost of health insurance. So it's interesting. Health insurance is not on the right. No. It's not visible on the right.
No, not at all. But, I think it's interesting because, again, typically we look at the numbers and you got a lot of people on the right who may want to rail against the Medicare for all situation. And I think it has gotten a lot of attention share on the left, particularly through candidates like Abdul El-Sayed and really going all the way back to Bernie Sanders. And
There's a fire truck, people. That's why we're stopping.
Going all the way back to Bernie Sanders. And so I think that there's just more actual true blue conversation about it that's happening on the left that is a little bit more robust. And I think that is why you're seeing those numbers bear out a little bit differently. But I will say that, and I will put this out, is that when polled about Medicare for all and everything has been explained, Medicare for all is supported almost across the board positively by both parties. It's a very odd thing happening.
It's an odd thing because I think people like the idea of the policy, but I think the actual voting for it's very scary for a lot of folks.
Yeah. I don't know why, but yeah.
Well, no, because whether your groups, and I want to finish this one section out a little bit. Trump in the federal administration is 8.5%. Roads and infrastructure and education are at the bottom as far as what people care about. Gretchen Whitmer is extremely popular, 93% popularity, which is wild. Alyssa Slotkin, 70% popularity among Democrats. You have two people who are not necessarily progressive, who have a lot of support in this state. Yeah. And, you know, I tie that into the Medicare for all situation, thing like that, because you're right. I think in Michigan, a lot of progressive policies we tend to like on the tin, but we don't like progressive, there's like a cultural thing about it, right? And part of it is that there's a lot of union people who are afraid of Medicare for all because they're afraid of losing benefits they negotiated for. Yeah. You have people who don't like change. Like, it's an interesting dichotomy, but I also think this happens across the nation. People like progressive heck, high minimum wage laws have been passed in Republican states.
Yeah, so, you know, it's one of those things that I think is going to be really important moving forward, and I think a lot of people truly care about it, but it just goes to show that at the end of the day, a lot of people care about the same things, and it's the branding that's getting folks caught up on this stuff, because, like you said, if people are voting for higher minimum wage in Republican areas, then that just shows that people care about it. So why can't we all get on the same page about this?
I think part of it's vibes, right? So I wonder if in the modern era, being a moderate is not about policy, but about presence and position.
I mean, of course it is. I think it's critical.
It's about, do you sound like a normal person?
I mean, look at how somebody like Zoran Mamdani has been able to essentially take a quote-unquote socialist platform, and I'll put that in quotes because it's not like he's spouting off Marx every day.
No.
But he's taken that platform and made it palatable for the average American because he is just a normal, mild-mannered dude.
A lot more Democrats and Republicans say that the two-party system does not work for America. Nearly 2/3 of Democrats say the two-party system does not work.
I think that's a big thing, man. I think people are really frustrated with this system, and I also feel like a lot of people don't feel like either party speaks for them. I mean, listen, drain the swamp was a thing that people were saying on the right. Again, energy that both parties, all people have, that we somehow have not been able to come to the middle ground on.
I'm only going to touch on it quickly. Jocelyn Benson, the race for governor in the primary on the Democratic side is not competitive. She holds a 58-point lead over Chris Swanson. So, yeah. So I think this is, I mean, we knew this, but we're not going to spend a ton of time on that. Let's go over to the Senate race, where we've got some interesting things where they break out each individual candidate, whether it's Abdul El-Sayed, Mallory McMurrow, or Haley Stevens. And it's interesting to see where their support is and why. So first off, Abdul El-Sayed's been able to build a lot of name recognition. Remember, he ran for governor before. He's been on this show before, I will mention, and hopefully all three candidates of these are again. But he's got a nearly 58% name recognition, which is a great sign for him. His unfavorable is only 5.5%.
Yep.
So it's definitely like inroads that he's making. We'll go into the top line numbers. You'd think it's still a huge toss-up, but he's definitely been making strong inroads. Then we can go on down with that. You go to Haley Stevens. She has a name ID of more than 55%. So El-Sayed, who doesn't have an office, has more name recognition. Mm-hmm. So that's something that Stevens really needs to work with. She's got some favorable 6.9%, but it's not overwhelming. It's interesting with that. And we can keep on going with that with McMurrow. The thing with her is that her name recognition is so much lower. It's just under 40%.
Yeah.
And
which is wild considering she is a state senator.
Well, that's the thing. Does holding state office matter as much as it?
It seems to not.
Does even holding office as a U.S. rep matter as much?
It seems to not. It seems to not.
Are we seeing a bigger thing here than these three candidates? Are we seeing an underlined paradigm shift?
Yes. Issues. That is what we're seeing. I think when it comes to Haley Stevens, she has endeared herself particularly to Metro Detroit's religious community. She's very, very well tied in with the black churches in Metro Detroit, and so she tends to overperform with the black vote in Metro Detroit. She's over-indexing on the black vote in Metro Detroit. But you have Abdul Al-Sayed, who is getting a lot of juice.
And West Michigan.
Yes.
Now, this is part of the interesting thing about progressive support to me. A lot of people assume, you'll see the online tropes of a lot of Democratic socialists make more than the average. Not that they're rich, but they're doing okay.
Yeah.
And I think one of the challenges that Abdul Al-Sayed has is that of his core base, that's a group that Michigan doesn't have a ton of.
No, but he is outperforming Haley Stevens outstate.
Yep.
And that is huge.
Yes, this is part of why this is such a toss-up.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us are in any position.
No, we cannot call this.
To call this.
We cannot call
in
this.
any way, shape, or form.
But that is huge. If you have Abdul Al-Sayed, who is outperforming in places like Kenton County or Kalamazoo County and can even just start to split Southeast Michigan, you are talking about a massive, massive swing of an ideological shift in the Democratic Party.
And this is where I want listeners to chime in, dailydetroit@gmail.com, because the largest section of voters in this primary for USN on the Democratic side is undecided at 36%.
That's still huge.
In this poll. It's gigantic.
Huge.
It's gigantic.
Yep.
According to this poll, Stevens has nearly 25% of the vote, El-Sayed nearly 23%, and McMurrow only 16%. It's very different than another poll we saw that put McMurrow in, this is, to me, what this tells me is there's still so much uncertainty.
Is that nobody knows. And at the end of the day, that 36% of undecided voters is why everything is in such flux. If that glut of people over the next 4 months can make their minds up,
and I want to know
you'll see who comes out.
And I want to know what they're actually interested in.
I think, to be honest with you, I think that large 36% is just the unengaged electorate. I think you got a lot of people.
They're the people who are likely going to vote, but they're not tuned into whatever's happening.
They're not on the everyday whatever is happening and what's going on. That's not who they are.
So send us a note, dailydetroit@gmail.com. I definitely want to hear from you on this. El-Sayed, I got to mention this, 50%. He's polling 50% in Southwest Michigan.
Huge.
That's just wild. Now,
Huge.
Stevens has definitely got the lead in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne. McMurrow needs to figure out a bulkhead.
If she does not at least get beyond 20% in Wayne or Oakland, or excuse me, 30%, she's in big trouble. She's performing well in Washington, all last numbers I saw, but it's you got to win these population centers down here. You got to perform in the population centers down here in the Democratic primary. If you are not at least winning Metro Detroit or splitting Metro Detroit, there really is kind of not much of a path.
Can I say something that's just my experience?
Sure.
And I know online, for instance, there's a lot of people who will slag people like Shri Tanadar. Like there's memes everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? My neighbors like Shri.
And they know who he is.
And they know who he is because he showed up.
Yep.
And I think that's the thing. This can't be, like you and I have said many times, I think it's true for Detroit, and I think it's true for a lot of Michigan. You see Abdul El-Sayed's been out there in West Michigan. Mm-hmm. I know Malik McMurrow's doing her own tours and stuff like that. The getting out there is going to be so important.
It's key.
And getting to know people, not just the soundbite, not just the Instagram hit. That's great for raising money. That's great for certain purposes. but to get the actual votes, people need to know you.
And I want to bring up a very, very critical thing, because if we talked about it on the Republican side, I want to talk about it on the Democratic side, is that in this Senate race, El Sayed is up 40% with voters between the ages of 18 and 39. That is crushing the other two. And the only reason why I bring that up is for the same reason I brought it up in the Republican vote, is that if this youth vote shows up in numbers that we've seen over 2022, 2024, this is a massive shift, right? This could be huge, not just for Abdul Al-Sayed, but just for what the Michigan electorate looks like. Because we got to remember, a lot of these people are the same voters that voted in those two elections. Those are the same people. And once you get in the habit of voting, you don't kind of stop voting. So
I'm very, very curious to see how this pans out. Finally, and we'll close the episode with this. And of course, I want people's feedback on this one. And please keep it respectful. This is not a place where it's about personal attacks. This is not X. We don't do that here.
Nope.
Is for who could be the Democratic nominee for president from Michigan. This is a bit of future casting. It's very early, but I know people are obsessed with these numbers, even though I'm not the biggest horse race guy. Let's walk from smallest to largest this time. So 10% are undecided. So let's take that off the table.
Put that off the table, yep.
The other group that includes Andy Beshear, James Tallarico, Elizabeth Warren, and Michelle Obama is about a percentage point. J.B. Pritzker, 2.4%. Josh Shapiro, 3.6%. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, 6.3%. Mark Kelly, 8.3%. I don't hear his name very often.
No, I think he'll be somebody's VP pick, though.
He's got that cred for people. There's a certain voter that he will seal the deal for.
Yeah, he'll get your unengaged veteran voters. He'll get a lot of those folks.
Okay, here's something that I think will make some people upset, but I understand why. 14.6%, Kamala Harris.
To be honest, that's about where I expect her to be.
People, listen, I think national pundits are missing out on how many people in certain electoral groups are still mad about it.
And you know what? And to a certain extent, they kind of should be. I get it. I get it. You know, and not that I get it that I don't like her. I'm saying they've made the reasons why they don't like her or why they don't want to vote for her very clear. And until that is rectified, this is where she will be.
15%, Gavin Newsom.
Again, a candidate that I've said, or a potential candidate that I've said is going to be a part of the mix, whether certain people online like him or not.
He's popular.
He's popular, and we got to talk about the regular everyday voter. The regular everyday voter is not plugged into these online machines and social media constantly all day, every day. And Gavin Newsom is a name that they know. He's a face that they see, and he's a person that, for the most part, they trust.
You know, I was looking at a recent study, and like less than 20% of people are plugged into these other social networks on a regular basis for politics outside of like Facebook. Mm-hmm. It's Facebook and YouTube that people who vote use, and then some Instagram, but it's less than half of people for that.
Yeah.
So it's really, I cannot stress enough, as much as I like to get into an occasional debate, that isn't where the voters are. Number 2, Pete Buttigieg. 17% of the vote.
Shocked. Yeah, I'm not shocked. People seem to really like Pete Buttigieg. He
appeals to Michiganders' neutral sensibilities.
Yeah, and I think I'm not neutral, so I feel how I feel. But I have an understanding, I think, as to why people go with him. He does seem like a level-headed individual in an era where no one is level-headed. And he is a person that I think people also look at as to say, you know, he's more representative of a America that is closer to what they want the country to look like.
And before I share the last one, and I bet people know what the last one is, I think whoever gets this nod needs to show that level-headedness.
Yeah.
I think that's really important for the median voter.
Yeah.
I think people are done with the crazy.
Yeah.
And then the leader, nearly 21%, Gretchen Whitmer.
Go somewhere else because she's not running.
You don't think so?
No. I think she's over it.
Really?
Dude, she's so I think she's so, I don't want to say jaded, There was a point in time where I was like, absolutely, she's running for president. But I think over the past 10 months, I felt like she's very much so tried to sunset her work in Michigan and sunset a political career. And I just don't see it currently, but
things can change.
Things can change.
And the thing is about her is that I think she's really a strong hometown pick because she has such overwhelming favorability. I also think, though, it gives her the chance to be an important player if she endorses somebody. This tells me that whoever she endorses, it's going to be a really big deal because you know what? If she decided to go ahead for some reason and to endorse Pete Buttigieg because he is a now living Michigander.
Oh, he wins Michigan.
He wins Michigan.
He wins Michigan, without a doubt.
Because everybody else would rally behind him.
Yeah, he wins Michigan without a doubt.
And I think, whoever she endorses might just win Michigan.
Yeah, and I think right now, because her approval rating is like through the roof with Democrats.
Yeah,
which is you expect that, but I think more so she'd be looking to king make or queen make whoever decides to be the nominee, or potentially even think about a VP spot. I'm not getting the energy off her that says, yeah, let me set myself up for a presidential run. I get that feeling from somebody like Shapiro or J.B. Pritzker. I get that feeling from Gavin Newsom. I don't necessarily get that from Gretchen Whitmer.
2 crosstabs I want to leave you with. Black voters were tied with Harris and Whitmer, both at 36.4%.
Yep.
White, which tells me, again, if she doesn't run under your theory, she is the queen maker.
Yep.
White voters choose Buttigieg at 22.6% and Whitmer at 16%. Mm-hmm. So white voters like Buttigieg. Voters over 65 choose Buttigieg, 20%, and Whitmer at 19.9%. Voters under 40 chose Whitmer at 27.2%.
Yeah.
So Whitmer really, she's in, when it comes to Michigan specifically, whatever she decides to do, she's in the catbird seat.
She is in the driver's seat. So if she decides to run, Michigan will be behind her.
100%.
Whoever she decides to put her energy behind, Michigan will be behind her. She is the gate from which the votes
on the Democratic
Party will go through, no matter what. No matter what. Point blank period. The nomination in Michigan goes through her.
I would love to hear your thoughts. dailydetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211. We can't run these political episodes with ads.
Nope.
So we really need your support.
Please.
Patreon.com/dailydetroit. Get swag, get our never-ending thanks, get access to our member-only Discord. We've got events coming together. We're doing a bunch of stuff. And, we are a local group. There is no corporation behind it. It literally is us.
There's no, DT doesn't pay for anything on this show, that's for sure.
It's just Fezzy.
DT didn't pay for him either.
Which, by the way, we've got our new mascot in Fezzy. I'd love to hear your feedback on that, dailydetroit@gmail.com. So support us. We'd really appreciate it. Also think about signing up for our email newsletter. There's a bunch of stories that just don't make sense to cover in this format. So we'll try to keep you up to date and do more things. We always want to hear constructive feedback, and we really appreciate you. With that, I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit. All right, episode 2.
We had to chat cooking.
All right, let's jump in. This is one, I'm sorry, chat. I couldn't do 2 screens. There's too much data. Too many inputs. All right.
Where did D.E. Gifford? Oh, Mr. Duckett.
I was in Mecosta and Isabella County. Perry and McMurrow seem to have momentum in that area. I could see that. McMurrow's been doing a beer tour. Really effective.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
really
I think there are certain places where McMurrow will perform very well. I just think she has not necessarily done enough to, number one, make her name outperform Haley Stevens, and then number 2, make her passion and policy platform supersede Abdul. So she's kind of got a battle on 2 fronts that she's got to try to do. Do I think she could do it? It's possible. Anything's possible when there's 36% of the electorate that's undecided.
And 4 months to go.
And 4 months to go. Like, yeah, there's a lot of work.
And there's a lot of intervention that can happen in the world, right? The world can make decisions. Let's see here. Mike Cox is DOA. Yep.
Yeah, he's done.
David, can he win the general election?
I think he was talking about Abdul.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm going to be honest with you. I love my fellow Michiganders. It's tough.
In my honest opinion, when he ran for governor, no. I think where he is now and running for Senate and seeing the work that he's been doing outstate, I think it's possible.
I think it depends on how his opponent plays it. If his opponent on the Republican side, and he might have to hew very close to Donald Trump, he's got a real chance. And he's a talented politician. I do not want to discount. I don't care what you think about his beliefs. He's a talented politician. He's done this for a long time. Mm-hmm. If he is able to cut a lane where he is the guy he was 10 years ago, 12 years ago, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the question. Can he free himself? Can he free himself from Trump? And I don't know if he can. Can he in the minds of voters? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think the thing, because, Mike Rogers is looking like whoever it is, that's going to be the opponent, right? I think if Mike Rogers doubles down on the Trump thing, I don't think that's the path, because again,
moderate voters come into play here.
Moderate voters come into play, and every projection known to man says turnout is going to be high for this midterm, and there's probably going to be a heavy weight towards the Democrats. So if you're looking at additional voters, additional energy, plus a high turnout from the youth vote, that doesn't spell well for anybody that hews or leans close to the Trump administration. So I think that
I'll be honest with you, 90 to 120 days ago, I'm not as open to your thesis. Mm-hmm. I think things have gotten I've been monitoring the situation, and it's deteriorated.
I mean, the Iran war completely.
Trump at 45, 47, I think it's a very tough W. Trump here right now in Michigan, he's 42. If he at any point, and he's not in Michigan, at any point touches the 30s,
he's cooked.
That's a magic number where the coattails are gone.
Yeah, he's cooked. But again, the national polling tends to still be pretty close to correct, and as it stands right now, there just seems to be a lot of work that the Trump administration will have to do. And they keep having these unforced errors, right? They keep having these weirdo scandals. Trump keeps doing and saying crazy stuff that just continues to alienate people. And, let's not forget that the situation with ICE hasn't necessarily changed or improved. And I'm not saying this as an anti or anything like that. I'm speaking merely as what is the reality on the ground.
Yep.
The economic situation has not changed. The Strader hormones has not been figured out. And their gas prices are being projected to be $4.70 by the end of next week a gallon. Dude, you mean to tell me you gonna go into Memorial Day with gas prices at $5 a gallon? Nah, dude, that's new.
Okay, D. Gifford said like regular and ultra MAGA, and the reason I'm bringing it up, even though it's back in the chat, all I can think about is Michelob Ultra.
Oh, what a disgusting beer.
Just leave it there. No comment. No comment.
It's so gross.
Mr. Duckett says, I want the Mark Kelly Raphael Warnock ticket.
What an obscure ticket. Listen, let me put it this way. I think Mark Kelly is poised. Both Mark Kelly and Raphael Warnock would be poised to be great VP candidates. I don't think they carry enough nationally.
Neither one of them
to be presidential candidates. Do I think they function as strong VP candidates? I think both of them do, personally.
David Porter, Gavin Newsom would be terrible for Democrats, can barely hold on to California. I don't know if I agree.
Here's what I think. And here's what I think is very important for people to understand. Gavin Newsom is well-spoken and handsome. That's it. That's my point.
And this is America.
And
we expect our presidents to look and feel and sound a certain way. And
perception is reality. And at the end of the day, they're going to see handsome, well-spoken Gavin Newsom standing on the same stage as sweaty, weird
whoever. And him not holding on to California is almost a benefit to voters.
Particularly to middle American voters. Yeah. I was putting them up against Trump, but I forgot Trump allegedly can't run again. So okay, if you put Gavin Newsom up against Tucker Carlson,
It's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be tough.
Gonna
But
be
if
tough.
you put him up against, I think if you put him up against JD Vance, not close.
Ryan Southend, give me the astronaut.
Hey, listen, again, a lot of people like the astronaut. You know what? Here's the thing. We're talking about, it's May, bro. We're talking about 2028. It's May in 2026.
But you can see in the chat, people love it. People want to talk about it.
Yeah, people want to talk about it and they love it. But here's my last point is that with Mark Kelly, I actually really like Mark Kelly a lot. And I really rock with what he stands for. I think if Mark Kelly in 2027 just went full bore, I am basically Captain America.
And remember,
like Eisenhower light.
and the thing is, like I said earlier in the show, my friend, it's that how you present. You can have whatever policies you want.
You got to present them.
But you got to present it, and everyone wants an astronaut for president.
Yeah, who doesn't want that? Dude, a brilliant veteran astronaut. Like this is the best of what we have to offer.
This might be something to watch in the future.
Yeah.
Josh Yanowski also says, gotta wonder if the kidnapping plot is playing a role in her decisions regarding her political career.
It definitely is. I would say it definitely is.
I can't speak for her, but it would for me. It would for
I don't
me.
see why it wouldn't. I mean, you talking about trying to go into a bigger platform? The biggest platform?
When you have the option to make as much money as you want and ride into the sunset and be a queen maker.
Yeah, pretty much for the rest of your life.
Because everyone's going to want Gretchen Whitmer's opinion. Everyone's going to want Gretchen Whitmer to speak at everything. She will have whatever job she wants to have.
Yep. You trying to get something done in Michigan? Oh, we got to call Gretchen.
Yep.
We got to call Gretchen. And every state has
Big
those
Gretchen's
people.
going to be wearing those buffs in a wheelchair.
Yeah, oh man, old Big Gretch. Old Big
You know what
Gretch
reminds me of?
at the
Movement.
Yes.
You know the lady?
Like Grandma Techno.
Grandma Techno.
Yes. She is going to be the Grandma Techno of Michigan, and she's going to be at the look. I can imagine she's going to be at the convention, and they'll be like, we haven't seen her in a couple years. Like we haven't seen her in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And they're going to wheel her out, and she going to have the buffs on, and she going to have a big fur. She going to have a big fur and some buffs on, and everybody's going to go fucking crazy. They're going to be like, Big Gretch. We love her. We love Gretch.
I'm checking the chat one more time before we do episode 3. I know it's a lot. Thank you, producer Adam. Thank you. This is a grind. I know.
It's not.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm having a ton of fun.
I'm having a great time.
I really like this. This is good. David Potter, old Big Gretch. I'm dying.
Yeah, man.
Come on. This is so true.
Yeah.
She's gonna be. She's Grandma Gretch.
Grandma Gretch. But that's the thing. Like every state has that. Every state has that handful of people that is like, you trying to get anything done here, it's got to go through you.
She's gonna be so popular that she's gonna have a sedan chair like Ben Franklin, carried through the streets of Detroit.
Oh, dude, you don't even know, man. You already know. Detroit gonna show out, man. When she finally go, we gonna show out. We love Big Gretch.
All right, let's do episode 3 here.
This is a fun one. This is the fun one.
This is feedback. Actually, this is a mailbag. We got a couple of mailbag questions that are kind of big. So let's get ready for them. And I'll take a drink of water. All right. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with us. I appreciate you all. I love the extended live. Also saves me from having to listen later. Just listen.
Double listen, Stina. What are you doing?
Just hit download.
We need both.
Download.
Don't
download
just do
the
this one.
file.
We
Download
need
the
both.
Download the file.
We need them all. We need these numbers.
We are not Joe Rogan. We are the reverse.
We are reverse Joe Rogan.
We are the mild manosphere.
Yeah. Joe Rogan has muscles and is bald. And so
we both
reverse
have hair.
that. We both have hair and not many
And height.
muscles.
We have
height.
We're taller than him.
We are taller than Joe Rogan. It's not a tall man.
No, that would be.
If he tried to hit me with like a BJJ type situation, no, I can't rock with him. Like if it's ground, if it's anything on the ground, we can't do nothing with him. No. But if I get him in a Muay Thai clinch, and not or we got to go, length, I might have a chance.
This is how we go big time. This is how we get people from Austin to listen to the show.
Oh, is that I fight Joe Rogan?
Yes.
All right, that's cool. I'll do it.
Because, that's the thing. People be like, oh, the shows. And we do. It's so great how many, like, podcast listeners we have. And we're so honored. But it's like, I also have to remind people, I love that clip with Pootie on Larry King Live, Danny Pootie.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, there's what luxury do you like, Danny? What's a luxury? He's like, I like nice socks. And like socks, that's not a luxury. Oh, what about a private plane or this? And he goes, Larry, I'm on DuckTales.
Yeah.
So when people say things to me, I'm always like, Larry,
I'm a podcaster.
I'm on Daily Detroit.
Yeah, I'm on Daily. I'm a podcaster, bro. Yeah, people.
We bought these mics. You brought this mic in, and I bought that mic used.
Yeah, this board is mine.
There was
I just had it.
I'm just going to say, it's very self-serving of me, but I'm going to say there's been so many media projects where like millions of dollars have been spent, and we're still here.
Not here.
Not here.
You know what? Funny story. Okay, very quick story time.
Yeah.
Right? So,
no Vitamin Rex, by the way.
Hey, everybody. Have you ever felt not quite yourself? Well, that's because you're low on testosterone and your cortisol is through the roof. That's why you need to be getting Bull Shark testosterone. That's only from GNC.
Here at Daily Detroit, we endorse Special D. Increase your T with the Special D. The largest canisters, extra long, extra wide, full with 69 pills ready for you.
Pure Bull Shark testosterone.
I can't even do this. I can't even do this.
Extra long, extra wide. It was so dumb. I can't. I'm sorry. I got us down a rabbit hole and I apologize. Okay.
The chat says they're going to take our money.
Right, says take my money now. Oh my God.
Listen, we're not going to do anything that's going to get us bought by the Onion.
No, not at all. Not at all. My whole story is gone now. I forgot even what it was supposed to be.
We were talking about being around.
Oh, so I made a show with my buddies, and it was just a ragtag group of 4 people. It was about video games. We ended up selling it to a media company. Well, we found out in the middle of not the sales process, but like right after they bought the company, that there was one other company they were looking at to put their money behind in order to make a gaming product. And do y'all know what that company was? G4.
Wow.
And they decided to not go to G4 because the investment that G4 would have took way too much.
So what you're saying is you were the value option.
Yes. We were the great value version of G4, and they went with us.
Norris Howard, great value G4.
But here's the cool part, is that G4 came out and spent something like $50 million in like 2 months and ended up folding in half a year, and we maintained. We're still around all the way through, almost through the whole pandemic.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here in Daily Detroit because...
We're cheap and cheerful, that's why.
That's why. But yeah... So make sure you go buy your Special D Bull Shark testosterone, 69 pills.
Enhanced with ground pheasant feather.
That's right.
We could just keep doing this.
No,
you know what? The cap could be dubs.
Yeah.
Like spinners.
Yeah, they're spinners. But
on
you gotta
cap.
Yeah. But make sure you sign up now and you use the promo code Special D in the D, and you'll get your first canister of Special D Bull Shark testosterone for only $69.69, and your second shipment will go to the regular price of $129.99.
Also, we're going to have a new line of Detroit River water supplements.
That's right.
You can hydrate.
Yes, with pills.
With pills, yes.
Yeah, hydrate with pills, yeah.
All right.
Shut up, Ryan. I'm not repeating that one.
Let's do the show.
Let's do it.
3 of 3. Recording. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, friends, and welcome to your daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go. And today, hearing your feedback with a couple of big mailbag questions along the lines of what we've been talking about on the show. I always appreciate hearing from listeners. These, I think, are interesting to a lot of people. It might resonate, and that's why we selected a couple of them. Joining me to do this is none other than the Prince of Brightmoor, Norris Howard. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good about myself. I'm chilling. And you know what? As I say, always, the West Side is back once again.
And the East Side is representing.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to get into this. And we have 2 mailbag questions. One of them is kind of long.
Okay.
But it's very much in-depth, and it's in regard to one of our previous episodes.
Oh, fantastic.
And this is from Brian, who says, after listening to the podcast touching on downtown population, referring to downtown Detroit, and apartment building occupancy, I thought I would convey my observations. With only 6,800 residents in the downtown core, Detroit has the smallest population not only in the region, but probably in the country for a region our size. Actually, I can verify that's actually correct. Some regional examples below include Cleveland at 21,000, Columbus with 13,000, Indy with more than 30,000, Milwaukee with more than 26,000, Minneapolis with 60,000, and Chicago with 46,000 in the loop. Now, of course, Chicago is not really apples to apples.
Yeah, it's an outlier, yeah.
It's an outlier. Minneapolis, honestly,
I would say it's an outlier, yeah.
as well. But Minneapolis did grow 9,200 residents since 2020, which, by the way, would be in the entire city of Detroit would be crazy. Well, Detroit only grew by 600 residents from 6,200 in 1,600 residents in the 2019-2020. The recent report from the Downtown Detroit Partnership says that 21% of people moving downtown are from out of state, while 24% from the region and over 50% from within the city. Compared to the out-of-state percentage, the regional draw to downtown Detroit is paltry. In my opinion, people relocating here from out of state don't have the negative preconceived notions about Detroit that suburbanites do. Yes, they love to visit the city now more than ever, but moving downtown is another story. I think the forecast is extremely generous based on recent trends. Like the city at large, the influx has been really a trickle. I hope I'm wrong. One last thing, purely, do you have anything to say before I go to the last part?
Continue. I'm holding my thoughts.
One last thing, purely anecdotal, meeting people at cultural events in the city reveals a problem. For example, speaking with many people at the Nain Rouge Parade, most are from the suburbs, Oak Park, Berkeley, Ferndale, Wyandotte, etc. Virtually every one of them lived in Detroit at one point, happily pointing out to me the midtown buildings they used to live in, the street they used to live on in Corktown, or the downtown building they resided in. Hence, the vast majority leave after a few years. So why don't they say, sure, schools is the number one reason, but many without children hightail it as well. Why? Perhaps a topic for a future podcast. So let's start that as a topic for this podcast, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Brian, first of all, for your feedback. So I want to answer your question, I think, in 2 parts. I think the first part, talking about how many people are moving to the city, I think you are spot on. And Jared and I have had many conversations about this offline, and have come to the same conclusion that you have, which is, the future of Detroit does probably, in terms of growth, actual growth with just people, does not lie regionally, because there is way too much animus, there's way too much history, there's way too much bias, and to be quite frank, there's way too much racism that still exists within our region that allows people from your Romeos and South Lions and Rochesters and so on and so forth to just be chill with letting their kids move to Detroit.
Can I add a plus side to that?
Let's do it.
The people who do come, they know how to rock with it.
No, and they love it because you made a conscious decision to come down and stay here and live here. Now, I think that is that's a barrier that's going to exist no matter what we do, and until there's some generational things that are broken, that is going to be the reality. I love when I run into people who are not born and raised Michiganders or born and raised Metro Detroiters who make a decision to move to Detroit, because to me, that tells me that, number one, you didn't believe the propaganda. You didn't believe the, decades worth of divestment, talking about Detroit as a cesspool, talking about Detroit as a place that sucks and there's crime written and all that stuff. You didn't believe in that and you took a chance. And so I thank you personally as a native Detroiter. I think number 2 is that you saw opportunity. So I think that is also really important. And number 3, before you go ahead, Jer, I want to say thank you for not being scared of black people. Because that continues to be a big thing here as we see. And I'm sorry, you can't live in Detroit if you got that kind of going on for you.
I would say I get a lot of interesting questions that I don't share publicly because I appreciate people being honest with me. Mm-hmm. But one of my first questions I ask when people are like, well, I want to move to Detroit is literally, are you cool with black people? Are you actually okay with black people?
Are you actually know how to navigate blackness?
So here's the thing. Here's a little example in that. Okay. Mm-hmm. I live on the east side. Mm-hmm. I lived in the north end. I've lived in the University District. I've lived in North Corktown. One of the things about being in Detroit on Saturdays, Sundays, evenings, usually not the morning, they're at church, there's going to be music.
It's loud.
I had a neighbor who always played Al Green on Saturday evenings.
Why is that? That sounds fantastic.
It is fantastic. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Because if you're not, don't live here.
Where I stay, there will be DJs at a place down the way. It's not overwhelming. Mm-mm. Are you okay with joy? Are you okay with noise and joy? Joyous noise. If joyous noise annoys you, this is not the place for you. Right? Mm-hmm. Because this is a cultural, I don't care because I know a lot of people are concerned, and we're going to talk about that in a future question. I don't care what percentage this is. This place has a soul, and you need to be okay with joyous noise if you want to live in the city of Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Listen, let me say this. There was a very long Reddit thread about this in our Detroit. And if some of you are in our Detroit, you probably saw this thread. And there was somebody who moved here from out of state who lived downtown and complained about the noise downtown. And people were just like, dude, you live in a downtown in a major city. What are you talking about? And I think
if you want quiet, you can be by me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's music and stuff, but it's on the regular. It's quiet. It's so quiet. Dude, there's turkeys.
If you live in Rosedale Park somewhere, you are not dealing with noise like that.
No.
If you live in University District, you are not dealing with noise like that.
Do you know how quickly the University District, the UDCA, would be all over you?
Yeah, or Sherwood or any of those places. And not just because those are nicer neighborhoods. There are just regular neighborhoods. You're not encountering noise that way.
And they're heavy kid neighborhoods, too.
Yeah, heavy kid neighborhoods. So you're not experiencing that. But the point is, and I'm glad you put it in that context, Jer, is sounds of joy, music, laughter. Every now and then, maybe it is the occasional argument, but it's very few and far in between. But if you are not akin to people enjoying themselves and enjoying themselves audibly, that's not the place for you. And to the second part of that question, I do think that there are still some very real barriers that we have to continue to address. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the city of Detroit, and I'm not going to ignore those. I'm not going to ignore the fact that we, to a certain degree, don't have the housing stock that people are looking for.
Well, this is part of the reason was why I liked, and I directed this listener, make sure to listen to my conversation with Greatwater Homes. Mm-hmm. They have found a model to make single-family homes work in Detroit and get people the kinds of houses they want. Now, the thing is about Detroit, I know the online conversation is all about affordability, and affordability is very important. And affordability is a very difficult challenge in a city with so many people who are not making a living wage.
Flat out.
I fully and totally understand that.
Flat out.
However, as to this issue, one of the big reasons they're leaving, because the majority of people that are buying these new houses being built are Detroiters already.
Yep.
It's because they're looking for housing stock that they can grow into. And yes, money is important, but in reality, that mortgage payment they were talking about on the show, $2,200, $2,300 a month, you can afford that mortgage payment. There's other things you can start to afford. And let me tell you, there are ways, yes, other costs are very important. Insurance is definitely an issue, although there's ways you can do better about it.
Yep.
But that's also part of the thing about being in Detroit. One of the things we were thinking about, we're just discussing, I'm a member of Keep Growing Detroit. Mm-hmm. You got to be a city resident to be a full member of that.
That's right.
And I got all these starter plans and there are little benefits that accrue to being part of a true city, but you have to decide. This isn't like New York. You have to opt in here. You have to look a little bit. One of the reasons we do this damn show is to show you, give you on-ramps to those places. So there is a beauty to that. People, I don't think like costs are the end all be all, but lifestyle, getting what you want, being able to be comfortable very much is. And whether it's those single family homes or some other places that we know are doing well on a little bit higher end of the market, which honestly is high for Detroit, but not high nationally.
Well, and I think there's also a knowledge gap. I think there's a lot of areas in Detroit that people are very just unfamiliar with that have housing stock that people would be very into. I think of an area like Bagley over there, 7 Mile and Curtis, 6 Mile and Curtis area, not too far from like Mumford High School and stuff like that. Like that area, man, those homes over there are gorgeous. Like you think by Marygrove, man, those houses are so nice, and they're perfect houses for if you got 1 or 2 kids. You could grow into them. They got nice sized yards, so on and so forth. And it's not too crazy. It's not crazy over there in terms of like crime or anything like that. And they're building over there. You know, they're adding more attractions and more things to do over there. So you got areas of the city that are being built up. East English Village is another one. So I think there's also just a knowledge gap as well in terms of where people are thinking about. I think a lot of folks are just looking at that Woodward corridor, and if they can't find what they want, then they get a little frustrated.
Well, one of the things that I think we're going to do on the website, and it will not be AI, is maybe it's time to have like an Ask Fezzy section. Maybe if you just ask us, like being able to like have an interface point that is not, we're not like part of some city program where we don't have to, we'll tell you what we think.
Yeah, and it's like you'll drop it in, and then we'll have a show like this, or maybe we'll do a special mailbag episodes.
Or if it's private, we'll keep it private.
Or if it's private, we could keep it private. But it's just like, hey, yeah, is this area cool to live in? I've never lived in a big city, and is this a good first place? Maybe not really.
Or what are you looking for?
What are you looking for? Oh, okay, yeah. If that's what you're looking for, then yeah, it's a great area for you. So I think it's a complicated answer, but ultimately, I think when it comes to Detroit, most things boil down to: are you ready to live around a whole lot of black people, and are you ready to buy in to a city that needs you to buy in?
And I think it's easier to buy in when you feel that comfort, and that's one of the reasons a light clicked on for me.
Yeah.
For that conversation, where it was like, you know what? It's a lot easier to pay those bills when you get what you want.
Yep.
If you get what you want,
then paying that bill is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love your thought on that. dailydetroit@gmail.com. All right, this last one. This is from someone I'll call Johnny, but they want to be anonymous on the air.
Sure.
Okay. So, with all respect to Jaron Devin, this question is for Norris.
All right.
I don't know if it's true, but I recently read that now more black folks live in the suburbs than the city of Detroit. Norris, I know you moved to the suburbs and came back. How do you feel about this? I feel like I'm being left behind while others, not just whites, but Arab people and others are taking over more of the culture. I want to be angry, but it's my family that moved. My wife wants to move too. Thanks for keeping it real. I need your words.
Yeah, I think this is a complicated thing, right? For me, and I said on a previous episode earlier this week that Detroit holds a lot of emotional comfort for me, and that's part of why it was important for me to move back. But you have to look at it in two ways. The first way you got to look at it is to say, is my family living to their highest potential here? And if you think they are, or you think that you could get all those things, then I think that you got to stand firm and there's no reason for you to leave. And on top of that, if you feel strongly and you want to continue to add to the tapestry, then continue to do so. I think also, though, that the biggest thing is that we do ask for more regionality when it comes to the city of Detroit, and we do need more regional participation. Black folks are going to live where they live, and I want black folks to live wherever the hell they want to live, whether that be in the suburbs or the city. However, for me, I also know that Detroit needs more people of all persuasions to live in it in order to continue to break down the barriers of racism, continue to add to the tax base, and to continue to decouple the existence of Detroit from this sort of post-apocalyptic, ruin-porn, crime-ridden thing. Until we get a lot of people to live here that are not necessarily black folks with a connection to here, that's not going to happen. I hate to say it, but it's not going to happen. We actually do need a lot more people of a lot of more different races to live within the city limits. But to your specific question, the culture of cities will always be defined by the people that live in it. And as it stands right now, Detroit is 75% black now? It did dip a little bit, but it's like 70. It's still very much so a vastly majority black city. That's not going to change overnight, my boy. It's not going to change overnight. It probably won't change in a decade. It probably won't change in 25 years. So you can still add to the tapestry of the city of Detroit through your activity, through your support, through, do you come down for the activities? Do you come and watch the sports games? Do you come and, volunteer in the schools or the after school programs? That's another big thing that I think a lot of people don't look at. So for me, as somebody who lived in the suburbs and came back, I didn't feel that community in the suburbs. If you can go out and feel that community in the suburbs, then I think you should give it a shot. But if your objective is to maintain community and to maintain closeness and to maintain a sense of self that you think is very important to you, then I think it is really important to try to try to verbalize that, and then make the best decision between you and your wife that helps your family. But for me, it was very important for me to try to come back and contribute as much as I could to the city of Detroit, because when I left, I felt like I didn't. And so I came back, hit the ground running, and that's what I'm here to do. I think there's no wrong answer for you, my friend. I think if you make a decision to live in the suburbs, then just find different ways to contribute to the city you love. And if you decide to stay, then find different ways to contribute to the city you love. Your address doesn't necessarily have to have a bearing on it. And if you was born and raised here, you'll always be able to say you're a Detroiter, my friend.
Yeah. I don't have much to add. It's not my place.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your words. That's for sure. For me, I guess I can only build on what you said about addresses. I used to be, when I was younger, I was a bit of a gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got older. Then things that are not great happened in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that everybody's season and station in life always changes. So that's why I'm like, well, I have an open mind about a lot of things. And so I really appreciate your open mind.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, I could be very hard on my family and a lot of my cousins for some of the decisions they made, because, to be honest, they're decisions that I felt like they didn't necessarily have to make. And I don't necessarily, maybe offline or in the Discord or something. If you're in the Discord, we could talk about that one-to-one, and I can kind of give you more specific personal examples. But in terms of culture, man, listen, black culture is never going to be separate from Detroit. That is never going to happen. And it's never going to happen because black folks will always intrinsically be tied to this place. That's like, dude, Atlanta is less black by percentage than Detroit is. It's still a majority black city, but it's less black by percentage. Would we consider the culture of Atlanta not to be an intrinsically black culture? Hell no.
I mean, I'm choking a little because it is patently absurd.
It would, yeah. The thought of it would be patently absurd, right?
Yeah.
And so for us, and I say us as black people, as black Detroiters, it behooves us to take control of our narrative, and I don't know, keep making Tubi movies because listen, all right, for as crazy as they be, the Tubi movies be entertaining, and I think that's a very funny, I think it's fun. I think it's a funny thing. Like, everything doesn't need to be super perfect. Like, it's okay. And it is a cultural thing. It's a thing we're trying, a thing we're doing, a thing we're using it to express ourselves. And don't let that stop you from exercising your Detroitness, if I can kind of make it a verb.
I think it deserves to be one. I want to hear people's to-be movie recommendations. DailyDetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211. Thank you, Norris. You are the best.
I'm not. I'm just a guy. But I appreciate the sentiment. And I think the last thing I want to say on this tip is that, I want, people to feel like they can live anywhere in this region. I'm just very big on Detroit because Detroit is my home. And even if I stay here for the rest of my life, I intend to try to stay here for the rest of my life. But as you just said, things change, life changes. But I will do everything I can in my power to always rep, help, and contribute to Detroit, no matter where I'm at on the planet. So there's more ways to do it, but do what's best for you and your family, my friend. And if that's moving to Oak Park, then that's okay. We'll see you at the next meetup.
That's right. Which you can find at dailydetroit.com. All right. And thank you so much for listening to the show. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much to our members on Patreon, patreon.com/dailydetroit, because local media needs local support to survive and thrive, and you allow us to do this thing. We're very lucky that we do. With that, I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit. Whew. Okay.
That was a really good question, cause I've felt that before. I've felt that like, oh man, like I feel like I can't rep Detroit like I used to. I'm not as real. I'm not as validated as I used to be. But at the end of the day, dude, like I'm still Brightmo to the world blow. You ain't never gonna be able to take that out of me. I am who I am. I'm from where I'm from. And, I moved back because, and maybe maybe weave this part back into the episode because I forgot to say this. But part of what I felt is that people with talent tend to lead this place a lot. And people with love and passion for this place tend to lead this place a lot, and they don't stay. And it was important for me using whatever little talent I have to try to improve it. But at the end of the day, dude, I'm still also like a 30-something childless person. I also don't have that level of responsibility that a lot of other people do. So I don't begrudge somebody for making a decision to do what's best for their family. But for me, if you got know-how and skills and you ain't got no kids, stay your butt in the city. But, hey, man, even if you do and you make a decision to stay, I think it's great. And if you make a decision to move elsewhere, then just try your best to figure out how you can contribute from afar.
I'm checking the chat, and we have to make tubies because former Governor Rick Snyder destroyed the movie business. The state of Michigan was starting to get off the ground.
This is true, but we would, man, excuse me. I don't know if you watch some of them Tubi movies, okay? They're so funny.
One movie is just a lockdown shot of a pool table and then butts. And there's some dialogue in the distance. It's just butts. Let's see. Mr. 1213, did you check with Riverwood Market owner to see how progress is going? Haven't heard, but I did because I have a progress update. They've got floors in. They've got to let some, they're really getting closer now. The structure itself, I'm driving by, and I also want to make sure that they're on the show because that would be really interesting, especially because they're pretty successful in Philadelphia.
I will say, I just wanted to hop in. I will say on Tubi, I don't know if this was shot in Detroit, but a really funny show actually is The Lesbian Homie. That's a hilarious show. It's actually one of the better done Tubi projects, so check it out.
David Porter makes a good point. The taxes and insurance is a major reason why people leave Detroit for the suburbs. Absolutely. Can I give people a pro tip that I found?
Hit them with it.
Be a member in good standing of a college credit union.
Ooh, yep.
Not only the car loan, but the car insurance. If you big shout out MSU FCU.
Yeah.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
or one of the other ones, like if you, because they actually had a deal for insurance, like as a partnership. It like took the cost down like 40%. It was wild. Do that. Like check into every alternative, because there are people who are trying to help this stuff and they actually have like money, like they have programs set aside.
Yeah.
So especially if like you're a state grad or a college grad, you have any of those things, check with your credit union. I don't know as much about the traditional banks. If somebody from a traditional bank is listening, let me know. But yeah, credit union.
Yeah. As a member of a credit union, I also approve.
Regular Joe says, I left at 20, just came back recently at 36. I love those questions. Really resonated.
Yeah, I think this is a story that I'm hearing from a lot of people. I know a lot of folks that I was, college classmates with or high school classmates with who are doing the same thing. They left and had their experiences across the country, and some
Which,
of them,
by the way, is good.
Yeah, and some of them across the world. And I actually really applaud that. Like for the folks who leave and get really dope expertise in other places, and then come back and can bring those findings back to the city of Detroit, I think is really critical. So for me, if I could be here the rest of my life, fantastic. But I also know that, circumstances change.
Okay, so Mr. 1213 asked David Porter, why didn't Governor Whitmer reinstall breaks for movies to be made in Detroit? David Porter can fully answer, but I want to talk about that for a quick second, because I fully support making movies in this area. However, and this is going to be, he's very technical, but there was a key issue with the tax breaks we offered. We were offering cash.
Yep.
And that wasn't sustainable. It was literally draining the treasury. Most places don't do it cash first.
Yeah, Georgia doesn't do it, which is why all Marvel movies are shot in Georgia.
Well, now they're moving
now they're moving overseas. But at first, for what was that, 20 some odd years?
Well, and by the time that Whitmer took office, kind of like it, I don't think we could offer enough to get back. Like the window had closed.
Yeah, and movies just cost too much to make now.
And now the problem is that you could offer more incentives, but so much of the production now, I was actually listening to a great episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. They were talking about how the Marvel movies are moving to Europe, a lot of these places, and a lot of it's not just cost, but rules.
Yep.
So they used the example, Conan talked about a clip where was it the Oscars he hosted? And he wanted to do a scene where he had golden retrievers like all over him, just as, Conan's style of humor. Turns out it would cost more than a car to do that, because the rules say you have to have the retrievers all have to live with each other. Then you have to pay for the trainers to all live together.
Then
you have to organize for at least 2 weeks,
Yep.
plus insurance, all this other stuff. Whereas in Europe, it's just like retrievers.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's... I
I'm sure
hope
there
there's
are
protections.
I'm sure there are rules, but the rules are more lax because they tend to want to foster more creativity.
Yes. And I mean, there just isn't the same. One of the things I think about too is we need to really think about, I'm all for being safe and being reasonable, but I really do worry about over-regulating ourselves. And I think we've gotten into that in some cases over the years.
I think the litigating, I would say regulating, aidings. Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially in the arts, in my opinion. I think if it maybe call me, I suppose conservative. I don't know. What is modern conservatism now? Because now they injecting all kind of rules and shit into everybody's business.
I heard people talk about liberals as conservatives because some of them don't want change. They want to keep the system.
No, I'm just saying now you just got like, I don't know, people talking about, this military state. Is like, I thought that was anyway, whatever. But the point is.
And David Porter is correct that the tax credit for movies was statewide and the state legislature would never.
No, not this one. Hell no.
Even with Democratic control, which was for a shorter amount of time, there weren't the votes there because there wasn't overwhelming control. Like there was like a one or two vote thing.
It would be stymied. But listen, do I think there's a world in which you could begin to offer incentives for some sort of arts programs and maybe film is part of that? Sure, I think you eventually get to that point. I think also not just the tax code itself. I just think also the very nature of filmmaking was very different back then. You still had most films using mostly practical effects. You still needed had these big lots that you needed for films, and unless somebody was going to come down here and build a massive studio park in the same way that Tyler Perry did in Greater Atlanta, I'm not sure if it's like a reasonable, feasible thing to even think about.
Do we want Medea running on these streets?
I would love it, and I don't even like Tyler Perry, but I think it'd be dope. You know, I think personally it'll be dope, but I just don't think there's a political will to do it right now. Not when we got like way other more immediate stuff to worry about. I hate to say
I'd
that.
love to see something.
Yeah, I would love to see something in the future for sure. For sure.
All right. Well, all right. We are going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with us. Thanks to producer Adam behind the scene. We've been streaming for 2 hours plus.
That's nothing.
I know you're like such a pro at it, having done it for so long with the gaming world. I'm just a baby.
I know. But one of these days, we're going to do a marathon stream. We're going to stay online for like 12 hours.
You know what we need the people to do? Send us food and drinks.
Yes. So actually, here's what we should do. We should do like a telethon, but a streamathon, and we just rotate people in and out for like 8 hours.
Yeah, all day. We'll just wake up in the morning
and just cut the stream on.
Get somebody to deliver some Iggy's Eggies.
And then like each hour or so will be blocked by topic. So it'll be like this hour we're talking about this. This hour we're talking about this. This hour we're talking about this.
You know that's going to go off the rails.
It doesn't matter. We have to try a structure.
The structure is a suggestion. We're going with the flow.
Yeah, the structure is a suggestion.
Well, I think I got everybody. I really appreciate everyone with their chats, and we will work on those supplements.
Yeah, the Bull Shark Testosterone, baby. Special D. Use your promo code, Special D in the D.
Ooh, buff strength.
Buff strength. Buff strength, Special D. That's the red bottle.
That sounds like it's sold at a gas station.
The red bottle.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We really appreciate you. Thank you to producer Adam behind the scenes, who's been on the ones and twos, keeping us, making us look good. We really appreciate you. We will be back next week. Make sure to at least download all these episodes. I know you've been here, but all the downloads, always good. Appreciate you so much. Norris Howard, take care, my friend.
I'm going to try.
I'm Jared Stays.
I'm Norris Howard.
Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit.